Okay, here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then me. That's 5. Okay.
Alright. So, there I am, standing in the hallway, listening to my husband on the phone in the bedroom with his mother. And I overhear him say, "Denise is a lesbian." This started my coming out process. By looking at a couple of statistics and hearing my personal story, we will gain more knowledge about what it's like to come out later in life. Whether you know anyone that is gay or lesbian, this speech is going to give you an insight as to who we are and how life is for us just because we are deemed different from straight people. I'm a lesbian. I was married twice to men and gave birth to 3 children. I came out officially in 2000. According to a survey done by Pew Research in response to the question, "How old were you when you first told a close friend or family member that you were lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender?" the typical age for lesbians was 21, or 80%. About 30% was 40 or older, while approximately 40% was between the ages 30 and 39. That came from the Pew Research website that I accessed on March 17th of this year. I also have, this is a 2010 census snapshot. The same-sex couples that identified as husband and wife were 131,792. Those that identified as being unmarried but partners were 514,735, for a total number of same-sex couples in the 2010 census of 646,464. If you look at the states ranked by same-sex couples per 1,000 households, the District of Columbia is number 1. As for the Pacific Northwest, where we are, Oregon is number 5, Washington is number 8, Nevada is number 11, Utah is number 29, Montana 46, Wyoming 49, and Idaho is number 43. So now we're going to talk about 3 things: doing what was right, coming out, and living what I think is my true life. So I was raised in a middle upper class family with a Jewish father, a Baptist mother, and just 1 sister. And we were always led to believe, or raised to believe, that as a little girl you grow up, you get married, you have children, you live happily ever after, 2.5 children, white picket fence, the whole 9 yards. So my first marriage was in 1983, and I had 2 children. My second marriage was in 1993, and I had 1 child. So we just talked about doing what was right, so now I'm going to talk about coming out. During my second marriage, my dad gave us our first computer, and I was introduced to the internet. Had several friends who introduced me to several different websites and chat rooms and stuff like that, and found this place called Lentilla. It's a talker. And there I made some lifelong friends who helped me figure out who I was. And Pal Talk, which is where I met the love of my life. I also had some books. The one I think that helped me the most was called From Wedded Wife to Lesbian Life, written in 1995 by Deborah Abbott and Ellen Farmer. So we've just talked about coming out, now we're going to talk about living my true life. Ann and I met on Pal Talk August of 2000, and by the middle of October she had left Idaho and come to Louisiana, and it's been, a rough road, all the trials and tribulations, raising kids, just like any other couple. The biggest difference is going out in public. Back then, anyway, in 2000, the early years that we were together, you couldn't go out and show any signs of affection towards each other. getting a little bit easier now, though. So we've looked at what it's like to come out later in life after having a family. And after all these years, I look back and realize that was the best eavesdropping conversation I had ever done. It changed my life for the better in so many ways. So a memorable quote for me is, to be a wife and to be dependent on a man, either economically or emotionally or both, is to concede that a woman cannot stand on her own 2 feet, that she must derive her status as a person from the achievements of another, that her connection with the wider world is always mediated by a man. To be divorced or to be a lesbian is to confront the world on one's own, to know that one's accomplishments are of one's own making, and to be fully adult and human. And that was said by Ellen Lewin, and it came out of the book From Wedded Wife to Lesbian Life on page 223. Thanks, guys.
Yay!
Show yourself again.
Yeah, I'm still taping. Yeah.
All right.
Is that it?